Hello, everyone. I'm Super Marie, and I'd like to welcome you to another Fire Up Universe story. Today, I'd like to invite you to visit a place that will always have a special place in my heart, a place filled with love, laughter, simple moments, and unforgettable memories. This is my grandma's house. Everything you're about to see is inspired by real experiences that helped shape the person I am today. So make yourself comfortable, open your imagination, and come with me as we step inside Grandma's house. Our story begins now. Every time I visited my grandma's house, she was already waiting for me. The moment she saw me, her face would light up with the biggest smile. She didn't need expensive gifts or fancy surprises. Her warm welcome made me feel like I was the most important person in the world. As soon as the gate opened, I knew I was home. Grandma's house wasn't just a place to visit, it was a place where love lived, and every visit became a memory I would treasure forever. When I stepped inside Grandma's house, I wasn't walking into a mansion. I was walking into a home filled with love. Every room held a memory. Every window welcomed the gentle breeze, and every corner reminded me that happiness doesn't come from having more. It comes from sharing what we have with the people we love. Behind the house was a backyard that felt like a world of its own. It became our playground, our classroom, and a place where our imaginations could run free. Looking back today, I realized Grandma wasn't building a beautiful house. She was building a beautiful childhood. As we walked inside, the first room that welcomed us was Grandma's living room. It wasn't filled with expensive furniture or fancy decorations. What made it beautiful was the love that filled every corner. This was where our family gathered, where stories were shared, where laughter echoed through the house, and where everyone always had a place to sit. Grandma had a way of making every person feel welcome. No matter how busy life became, her home reminded us that family always comes first. To this day, whenever I think about home, I remember this room. As I looked around Grandma's house, there was one wall that always captured my attention. It was filled with beautiful paintings created by my uncle. Every painting seemed to tell its own story. Some made me wonder, some made me smile, and some inspired me to imagine places I had never seen before. Even as a little girl, I began to understand that every person has a special gift. My uncle shared his gift through art. His paintings reminded me that creativity has the power to inspire, encourage, and bring beauty into the lives of others. Years later, I realized those paintings were more than decorations on a wall. They were dreams, framed with love, and shared with everyone who entered Grandma's home. As we continued exploring Grandma's house, we came to one of my favorite places, the music corner. It was a place where melodies filled the air and every song seemed to tell a story. Music had a way of bringing our family together. Sometimes we listened quietly, sometimes we sang along, sometimes we simply smiled, letting the music speak to our hearts. Even as a little girl, I learned that music has a special gift. It can bring comfort when we're sad, hope when we're discouraged, and joy when we're together. Years later, I still believe that every beautiful song carries a little piece of love, and every time I hear music, I remember Grandma's house. As we explored Grandma's house, there was one little corner that always made me smile, the comic corner. To me, it was a doorway to endless adventures. Every comic book opened a new world. I laughed with the heroes, wondered about the adventures, and imagined myself inside every story. Without realizing it, those simple moments were teaching me something very important. Stories have the power to inspire us. They help us dream bigger, see the world differently, and remind us that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Looking back today, I smile because life came full circle. The little girl who loved reading comic books grew up to write comic books of her own. And now I get to share those stories with children and families around the world. As we walked through Grandma's house, there was one place I could never pass without smiling: the stairs. To most people, they were just a way to go upstairs. But to me, they were magical. Every step felt like the beginning of a new adventure. Sometimes I imagined I was climbing a mountain. Sometimes I was exploring a castle. And sometimes I believed each step was taking me closer to a wonderful surprise. Grandma's house taught me that imagination can transform ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. You don't need a magical kingdom when your heart is filled with wonder. Even today, whenever I climb a staircase, I remember those magical steps and the little girl who believed anything was possible. As we reached Grandma's room, everything became peaceful. The world outside seemed to slow down. The gentle breeze drifted through the open windows, bringing fresh air and the comforting sounds of nature. I loved sitting beside Grandma. Sometimes we talked, sometimes we smiled, and sometimes we didn't say anything at all. We simply enjoyed being together. Looking back, I realized those quiet moments became some of the greatest treasures of my childhood. Grandma taught me that love doesn't always need words. Sometimes, just being there for someone is the greatest gift you can give. Whenever I think of peace, my heart always brings me back to Grandma's room. Then came the moment I always looked forward to. Grandma would slowly open her closet and carefully bring out her special treasure box. To other people, it may have looked like an ordinary box, but to me, it was filled with magic. Inside were beautiful keepsakes, little treasures, and memories she had collected through the years. One day, Grandma smiled at me and placed a beautiful watch into my hands. I wasn't excited because it was expensive. I was excited because it came from someone I loved. That watch became more than a gift. It became a reminder that the most valuable treasures in life are the ones given with love. Even today, whenever I think about Grandma's treasure box, I don't remember what it was worth. I remember how deeply loved it made me feel. After exploring Grandma's wonderful house, it was time for one of my favorite moments: gathering around the table. Grandma always believed that a meal was more than food. It was a time to slow down, to laugh together, to listen to one another, and to be thankful for every blessing we had. The table didn't have to be filled with expensive dishes. What made every meal special was the love that surrounded it. Around Grandma's table, everyone belonged. Everyone was welcome. Everyone was cared for. Looking back today, I realized Grandma wasn't simply feeding our bodies. She was nourishing our hearts, strengthening our family, and creating memories that would stay with us for a lifetime. To this day, whenever I gather people around a table, I remember Grandma and the blessings she shared with all of us. As the day slowly came to an end, Grandma and I would sometimes step outside into the backyard. There stood a beautiful banana tree, reaching toward the night sky. Above us, countless stars filled the heavens. I loved looking up at them. Each one seemed to shine with its own little story. Standing beside Grandma, I felt safe. I felt loved. I felt like anything was possible. The cool evening breeze, the gentle sound of the banana leaves, and the sparkling stars above became memories I would carry with me forever. Grandma taught me to slow down, to appreciate the beauty around me, and to remember that some of life's greatest moments are the quiet ones we share with the people we love. Even today, whenever I look up at the stars, a part of my heart returns to Grandma's backyard. As I look back on those beautiful days, I realize Grandma gave me so much more than childhood memories. She taught me how to welcome people with kindness, to dream without limits, to appreciate music, to enjoy stories, to treasure simple moments, to gather family around the table, and to find peace in the beauty of God's creation. At the time, I thought I was simply visiting Grandma's house. Now I understand. She was quietly helping build the foundation of the person I would become. Today, I carry those lessons with me wherever I go. In my family, in my work, through my books, through Fire Up Connect, and through every story I have the privilege to share. Thank you, Grandma, for opening your home, for opening your heart, and for filling my life with memories that will never fade. And thank you for joining me on this journey through Grandma's house. I hope this story reminds you of someone special who helped shape your own life. Until we meet again, keep building your kindness, keep sharing your love, and keep discovering the superpower that is already inside you. I'll see you in our next Fire Up Universe story.